I step, something in my jeans. And FOI, you know that's the team, huh?
Peace. This is your brother Aidan X, and welcome to the processing class. Peace. This is brother Aidan. I got me a very special guest, brother Lavell X. Brother's 18 years young, and we got him on here. The first question I want to ask you is, were you born in a nation, or were you introduced to the nation some other way?
No, sir. I was not born in the nation. I came across the nation basically on my own.
Yes, sir.
You know, into the story of it.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, before we get into the story of how you registered, what were you before the nation? We see a lot of brothers, they come up from robbing, they even come up from stealing, they come up from pimping, they come up from drug using, stealing. What was your story like? What were you before you came across the teachings?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't say I was doing anything criminal or anything like that. I mean, I hit a few blunts, took a few drinks, and then I wasn't nobody who would just who would go out and just get drunk or just smoke or anything like that. That was me. I'm more of a just to myself kind of person. I like music, so I did a lot of singing in my free time, whatever, and drawing and things of that nature. So it wasn't no like I'm this rough person and nothing like that. It wasn't that, but
Yeah.
it was in a sense of just I was, looking back at it, it was just like, man, my views on certain things was like way different. As far as like women, I had a very low view on women. Terrible at that time, but not like I was some, kind of menace to society or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But had a few little things that, was not in accord with Islam, we could say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I didn't necessarily mean anything crazy, so let me reword it. Like,
Oh,
you
no,
just going, yeah, my bad. Because not everybody has a story like that. I don't even have a story like that. But can you just go in details of where you was versus now where you are now?
Where I was at, I was uneducated, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as I just didn't know basically as far as like the knowledge that I have now versus when I had learned about the teachings and started studying the teachings and everything. And it helped me develop and grow. Like as far as like on a speaking basis, I didn't know I could speak as well as I have spoke since I've heard the teachings until I heard the teachers, started studying everything. So on that level, but I couldn't, it was just like, because when I heard the teachings, I was in 8th grade when I started studying and teaching. So it was like, I'm just doing the regular stuff as a teenager at that point. You know what I'm saying? Just hanging out, doing, stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes, sir. Okay. Earlier you said your views on women changed. Can you go in details about how your views on women used to be and where they are now?
Yes, sir. So so my views on women definitely changed because before I learned about teaching, I had a very low view on women in general because I've grown up around my sisters, so it's all mostly women in the house, you know what I'm saying? So I just looking at them and then going to school and seeing how girls act, it's just like, man, these are some wild individuals. They ain't got no, you know what I'm saying, no type of I'm trying to find the best way to put it in words, but it's just like, they crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, wow, they really need somebody to teach them. That's how I feel like. But I felt it in a more disrespectful kind of way as far as that. And then when I came into the teaching, it was just like to see the black women, I was speaking to women in general, but when I came to the teachings or whatever, it was like to see the woman and the black woman specifically in her, righteous position is, she is the it's like said a nation can rise no higher than its woman, so the woman has to be the best. You know what I'm saying? So my views on the women changed as far as looking at them, respecting them. Because I had respect, but it was just the way I thought. You know, I respected women, like in my action of interacting with women, but like my thoughts of women was disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Now that's a shocking to a lot of people watching this, because when you think of Islam, you think of, women being oppressed, women being lower than a man. Coming into the teachings in the Nation of Islam, it didn't make you thinking that women are a slave to men. It didn't have you thinking that, women are less than men.
No, sir. No, sir. Absolutely not. It didn't have me thinking that. I mean, I've seen some stuff that they try to put against Islam in general about the women, but then I listened to how the Muslim women respond to that stuff, and it's just like, man, that's all you got to hear to listen to the women, because they'll explain it, and to understand that it's more of a they do that and put it in Islam, but it's more of a cultural thing and not Islamic thing.
Yes, sir. Now, just going back, what made you want to register? How were you introduced?
Yes, sir. I had watched Malcolm X. It wasn't my first time watching it, but this was 8th grade. My first time I actually watched the movie was in 4th grade, which I probably should have said this earlier. But because I studied, like when I was a kid, I loved Martin Luther King. So I watched everything Martin Luther King and Civil Rights Movement. And since they put him in there, but they don't really talk about Malcolm, I went and watched the movie. But when I had first watched it, I wasn't watching it really watching it to understand it, because I'm a kid, so I'm just watching it to, just watch it basically. So when I watched it in 8th grade, I really went and studied Brother Malcolm, and I studied his life and his death, and studied Islam and what they say, Sunni Islam and the Nation of Islam. And that's basically my beginning of, being exposed to it through that way, and listening to lectures by the minister and Brother Khalid. And that's, my first being exposed to it as far as through the Malcolm X movie.
Yes, sir. Now, just bringing up the Malcolm X situation, a lot of people hear that, the Nation of Islam killed Malcolm and all these things. That didn't play with your head and, taking that step to register. You wasn't afraid, that you're part of a group that potentially killed somebody important like Malcolm.
Yeah, so it was definitely an issue as far as I had to study it very thoroughly, because at one point I was like, man, if they killed Malcolm, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had to really go thoroughly study. And in my study up to this moment, it is apparent that Elijah Muhammad had nothing to do with the assassination of Brother Malcolm. And from all my research, it's the government that had everything to do with the assassination of Brother Malcolm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, people watching this, they may see you with your uniform, it's military. And military is connected to discipline, Were you not scared? Because you're a young man, you're a young brother. You wasn't scared of being too disciplined, too restricted. I gotta give, drinking up. I gotta give weed up. I gotta give, fornication up. You wasn't scared of the discipline with the FOI, the Nation of Islam?
No, sir, I wasn't scared of discipline, because I was basically already, I didn't really smoke. I didn't really drink, so that wasn't no issue for me. I say one issue was just kind of funny. I'm like, because I had a goatee, so I'm like, dang, I gotta cut. But other than that, it was like, no, I can deal with the discipline. I can, you say here, we hear and obey. So yes, sir, I can all the way 100% get with the discipline of the FOI.
Yes, sir. Just being in the nation and everything, a lot of people would ask, what has the Nation of Islam done for Black people? So I want to ask you specifically, what has the Nation of Islam and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, what has it done for you personally?
Yes, sir. Me personally, it raised me to a level that I never thought that, I could do some of the things that I'm doing. And just as far as like being, first of all, working for the people, which is, I love, being out working with the people, you know what I'm saying? And and as far as like the way the knowledge that we have, you know what I'm saying, that have helped me, see myself better. And was my bad, brother. I was just thinking, but yeah, it's helped me see myself in a better light, and just to be able to speak a word, you know what I'm saying, from this to help somebody in any condition, just to say something. Because sometimes, like when I'm out with the paper, I don't know what I'm going to say, but whatever Allah blesses me to say is good, then it really touches the people. So I think that's really, it helps me, helping them helps me. You know what I'm saying? So yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, people watching this, they may ask, why the Nation of Islam? Why not Sunni Muslim or Shia? Or why not Christianity? Or, why the Nation of Islam specifically, So I'm asking you that.
Yeah, sir. Well, not Christianity, because when I had read something, it's like when I was in seventh grade, I read something, a little pamphlet thing. I don't know which religious house, but it was saying what God was gonna do when He came back. He was gonna raise the dead to life and make the blind see and the deaf hear, and all of those things. So I'm like, man, I gotta get right with this guy that's gonna do all this when he come back. So I started going to church and everything like that, and I came across a clip, next movie, where he was talking when Denzel was, they was in the jail, in prison, and talking about Jesus, the color of Jesus, and all that. So when I went to Bible study with my friend, I was telling him that God is black, Jesus is black. He was like, no. So we asked the teacher over the Bible study class, and she said that, yeah, Jesus was black and whatever. But I'm thinking in my mind, I didn't say this out loud, but they have a picture of a black Jesus in the back of their church in a chair. And then in the sanctuary, they got this white Jesus up, in the stained glass. So that was, if you bear witness that he black, why y'all got this white Jesus in the sanctuary? I just couldn't understand that. It was wild. But so I had left Christianity. Basically, I was, you could say, an agnostic at this point, until I learned about the nation and Islam. So I didn't choose Sunni Islam. Well, I was kind of back and forth with it, as far, because I'm studying all of it, you know what I'm saying? So in my study Sunni Islam, it was like, we get it on a religious basis, and religiously, which I'm coming into now, religiously, they don't follow the teachings of what Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, brought. And on the other level, they are more, how can I say this? They are, from my study of it, anti-black. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you can be black and be a Muslim, a Sunni Muslim, but you can't really fight for your people and be a Sunni Muslim. You understand? But this was really I'm studying both of these and studying Malcolm all at the same time. So, and I've seen it in more of a broad view, that my interaction with the Sunni Muslims is just like, they so closed-minded. I just was like, yeah, no. So I did that at first, but now looking at it even more in depth on a just religious level, they don't follow the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. So when I studied the nation, like the teaching, like I really dug into it. I want to know, like I say I joined the nation because it could be proven. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
I can back it up with something. It could be proven. So that was like one of the main points. Like I've seen nobody to this day that can disprove the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Earlier you said, you was really into Martin Luther King and the civil rights, era and everything. Now Martin Luther King, he's widely known, of course, towards the end of his life. I'm not going to get to, into that, but he's widely known for his nonviolence and, the peaceful protests, the civil rights, the sit-ins and the freedom rides. Now, the Nation of Islam has a different reputation of being, teaching hate, teaching violence, and all these other things, which of course is slander. But what made you, because those are totally different worlds, what made you shift more towards the Nation of Islam and not the NAACP and more things that are, associated with protesting and things of that sort?
Hey, I'll say real fast. Funny thing, like right before I was started processing class, I was about to attempt to join the new Black Panther Party. But on the point you brought up, I admired and loved Dr. King and still do. But I could never, even as a child, looking at him, I could never be nonviolent, and I knew that because that just wasn't me. Though I admired him for his work and what he did, I knew I could never be nonviolent to somebody who was violent against me. That just wasn't me. So I never thought about, I really never thought about joining anything at that time when I was looking at Martin. And it may go to the whole thing of they raise up Malcolm. I mean, not Malcolm. They raise up Martin to make you think that America has changed and they not racist no more and all this other stuff. So in my mind, it's all good, but
Yes,
in reality, it's all bad. So it wasn't a thing of no hard thing for me, but I think the reason I hadn't really looked at Malcolm is because the way they portrayed Martin versus Malcolm type of situation, which it really wasn't. Though Martin said some. They had a back and forth kind of thing, but just through, interviews of people asking questions about the two, you know what I'm saying? But so it wasn't no thing where I think the nation teach violence. Well, at that point, yeah. But I wouldn't say the nation because I didn't know anything about the nation. I knew who Malcolm was, but I had never heard about the Nation of Islam or Elijah Muhammad. I know who Muhammad Ali was because my cousin, he used to play the videos of Muhammad Ali boxing. I knew who he was. I seen him. And I knew who Malcolm was because they made him opposite of Martin. You understand? So, but as far as the violence thing, I didn't think, I thought it, but it wasn't a thought of I'm going to go and join some organization. I hadn't thought about that at that point.
Yes, sir. Would you say that the Nation of Islam taught you to, because a lot of people here, did it teach you to hate Jews or hate white people?
No, it didn't teach me to hate any of them. It taught me who they really are. It taught me how to see them correctly as who they are. So not anything like that as far as no hate for Jews. I've interacted with a funny story real quick. I was at it's like a trampoline type place, but it was some Jews there. They was having, I guess, a bar mitzvah. And this one Jew, he came up to me. He said, "I like your chain." And the man on my chain was Malcolm X. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, he was the biggest anti-Semite in 1965. And the Jew just said that he liked my Malcolm X chain. But no, I never felt any hate towards the Jews or white. In fact, I felt more hate towards white people when I was watching Dr. King than I did when I found the teachings, because the way the white people were doing Dr. King, I tell you, I hated white people at that point because I didn't know him. When I know him and see him correctly, I don't hate him. I just deal with him accordingly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because you're a young brother, and there's a lot of temptation into this world, especially being a young brother, with the party life and the fun life. What made you not think, I'm gonna die anyways. There's only one life. Why don't I just go and, cause as much havoc as I can or do what the hell I want instead of being in some structured type of group?
Well, I have to say that I could not know what's going on with, our people here and all over the planet and say, you know what, forget all that. I'm going to go party and do this and that. I couldn't do that in myself. I couldn't be out partying when I know our people are dying. So I have just fully dedicated my life for the liberation and salvation of the Black nation. And ain't nothing, that's the best party there is to me.
Yes,
being out with people. So yes, sir.
Do you ever miss, like, do you ever like see like, oh man, they having spring break in Miami, and I'm over here with the final calls. Do you ever feel that way, or is it a kind of a feel of you feel dignified where you are?
It's a feeling like me just personally, even before I learned to teach, I never liked like parties and things of that nature. It just never been my thing. I'm more of a to myself type of person. I do whatever like that, but I'm never like, no, I need to go out and party or whatever. I hang with my friends every now and then, skating or whatever like that. But I'm not a big person who, I need to be here because these people is here. I'm not no trendy type person who want to go do something because everybody else doing it. That's never been my
Yes,
thing.
sir. Yes, sir. Are you married by any chance?
No, sir.
No, sir. You know how there's a courting process in the Nation of Islam. For people that's watching this and you may not know, instead of dating, you go through a courtship process that leads to marriage. Do you ever not, in this world, a lot of men, have fleeting relationships. They have what I call booty calls, or they have, one night stands. Do you ever feel, why were you not scared of, oh, I got to be in the Nation of Islam, I got to be disciplined now when, when everyone else is sleeping around? How do you feel about the courtship process versus, the rest of the world and everything else, especially being young?
Yes, sir. The courting process, I can't really too much speak on that because I don't know a whole lot about that process as far as I know the basics as far as if you're interested in the sister, you go to your captain and let your captain know. But as far as what was the other question you asked me?
Just with the discipline, because a lot of young men watching this, they'll say, I want to join the Nation, but I'm scared, that I won't be able to sleep around and, all these things. What still made you stand strong and say, I'm a register into this, even with that discipline with the women?
Yes, sir. But I have to say, before I joined the Nation, you could say I was doing fornicating or whatever like that. So, but I've always found, even when I was doing it, I found it was that it's overrated. The world puts overemphasis on that act, which is useless act if you're not reproducing, with your wife. If you're not, making children with your wife, it's a useless act, waste of energy. I put it that way, it's a waste of energy. Be out fornicating with a whole bunch of different women and all this. I think that's the best way I could say it, brother. So
no, that's a good answer.
I don't really think it's too much of an issue as far as that with me. I don't think it's too much of it. I can understand because the world is over sexualized. So then you think, okay, if I'm not doing it, then something wrong with me, or something like that. But I didn't find it as an issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, just going on your Instagram, It says follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. What made you, people watching this may say, why do I'm a grown ass man. Why do I got to follow another man? So what made you say I'm going to follow another man, quote unquote?
It's crazy. My family, when I say the most honorable Elijah Muhammad or the honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, they will say, "Oh, why you gonna say honorable? What about the honorable Lavell?" I'm like, I hate when they do that, but it's like I'm in no position to be put on the pedestal of honorable. I can follow the most honorable Elijah Muhammad under the guidance of the honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. Just looking at the work of the man and what he did, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the greatest. If you want to put him in just a black leader role, he is the greatest black leader. He is more than a black leader, but he is the greatest black leader we has ever had. You know what I'm saying? And the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is right in line with his teachers. So I have no problem submitting to a man that God chose. I have no problem with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seeing in the nation and stuff, would you say that, the FOI brotherhood has impacted your life in any way?
Oh, I love the brotherhood. It's beautiful, brothers. As far as, here in Detroit, all the brothers have helped me when I need to ride. Brothers helped me. My car had got impounded a few weeks ago. Brother helped me get it out. The brothers did, real open as far as the job opportunities that brothers have offered me and everything. So I love the brotherhood, Yes.
Yes, sir. You just said you said with job opportunities and everything. Would you say that the Nation of Islam helped you financially?
Yes, sir. I say it helped me financially as far as that. Brother helped me get a job and everything like that. As far as that goes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And people watching this, man, they see the FOI brotherhood and they see all that. But some people may say, and I'm quoting their words, they may say, I already got my niggas, I already got my set, I already got my gang. Why is the FOI beneficial to you versus, if I already got people with me?
I would have to say that you may have some people with you, you know what I'm saying? But are y'all, growing together, you know what I'm saying? As far as that goes. And even if you are growing with some individuals, is it really, I'm trying to find the best way to say this. Because is it, in a righteous way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A righteous gang, even though I hate to put it in that way. This is, a righteous way, a righteous way of living. You understand? So it's a little bit different than some niggas, because all that means is you're around a whole bunch of dead people. That's all that means. Because then that nigga is dead, which I explained. Like in 8th grade, when I learned about the teachings, nobody could call me a nigga because I knew what nigga meant, and I made it very clear not to call me a nigga. So everybody knew that Lavell wasn't a nigga. but yeah, I mean, the brotherhood, really, you got to be with the brothers to even understand the feeling, the brand, with even just not the brothers, but the believers in general. Being with the believers in general was a beautiful feeling. Like, and Savior Day, that was a beautiful feeling being with all the believers. And every Sunday is like Savior's Day, mini Savior's Day kind of.
Yes, sir. Yes. Being around the brothers, is it like positive, like reinforcement, into righteousness? Because, you come into this world, there's a lot of wickedness and it's fair seeming. Would you say that it's helped you keep your discipline?
Yes, sir. Being with the brothers is, man, and when you with the brothers, some kind of way we talking about the teachings all day, and so it's beautiful to see the brothers that to interact with the brothers and clarify things that if you had questions or whatever, and to see people's different perspective as far as the teachings, how they viewing it and how they adding things up in in a righteous way of the teachings. And then I think that's like a beautiful thing as far as my interaction with a lot of brothers.
Yes, sir. Now, you're on here with a bow tie and you study, brother?
Yes, sir.
So,
Man, I got books here all around me, literally. I'm talking
yeah.
about everywhere, bro.
Some people watching this may say, you're acting white. If you dress up, you wear suits, you read books, you study, you listen to lectures, you're acting white. What do you think about that?
Well, that's because they don't have knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? So, like I tell, all the lost found, so I'm around. If you want to hide something from a nigga, they put it in a book. You know what I'm saying? So I stay with books and I stay studying, listening to lectures. I'm talking about in the middle of class. I carried this Bible, the cover gone, but I've carried this Bible everywhere since I got it, and that's been since 8th grade. So it's kind of warranted. It got all my notes in. But
Yeah.
I've Bible with me everywhere. but yeah, it's nothing wrong with studying. As far as you have to know. Knowing history or religion or anything doesn't make you mean you trying to be white. It's the right thing to do if you want to be an intelligent person. As far as speaking, just because you speak clearly and you try to be right, exactly what you say don't make you white. I think that's bad stereotype kind of thing. As far as you ain't down if you ain't using the all the different lingo that we use and all this other stuff like that. So I try to, when I speak, at least to the people, I try to just make it plain, like Brother Malcolm said, because I know I got a few seconds to get across what I need to say before they lose interest. So I just try to make it plain. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. People, excuse me, people seeing this, they see the brothers with the bow ties. They see, the brothers striving for righteousness, like you said, studying. What do you think about people that may look at that and say, that kind of looks soft, that kind of look corny, I still want to, keep my rep. I still want to be looked at as serious. I don't want to look at as soft or, studious. What do you think about that?
I would have to say that that's a person that does not study. Because if you study, we ain't soft. You know what I'm saying? You go way back to the 1930s in Detroit. We fighting with the police. You go back. You don't even got to go that far back. You go to the 90s. We was fighting with the police. You go to the 60s. We still fighting with the police. And in the 90s, with the dope busters. That ain't soft. They was going in neighborhoods, shutting down drug spots. The FOI was. That ain't soft. That's the strongest thing you could do as a man in your community. So, they just got to go study to see. No, we ain't. So Muhammad Ali, the greatest fighter all the time, with the FOI. So
yes, yes, sir. I see Master Fard Muhammad in the back of you, and we've been talking about the minister. We've been talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you even see him on my wall. Would you say that the Nation of Islam has taught you to worship men, like worship the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, worship the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
I've been accused of worshiping the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad simply because I say the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's mostly Christians who say that I say, yo, you worshiping him. But absolutely not. It doesn't teach us to worship the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We simply call him the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad because that's what he is. He is the messenger of God. So we put him in his rightful, position and give him the honor that he deserves since he worked all his life for our people and the rise of our people. I mean, he came literally out of the mud and raised up with nothing. He ain't have nothing to his name, nothing. Came to us and gave his whole life to us to raise us and give us life. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the same. He had nothing. And he went and got the, final call administration building. He went and did all these things. So That's not worshiping. I'm acknowledging the man for his great works as the man of God. So that ain't no man worship. It's just me giving, correct honor to those who deserve honor.
Yes, sir. Now, what would you say about people that say, I don't see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Black Lives Matter protests. I don't see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his followers at the bus sit-ins. So what has the Nation of Islam, what the hell have they done for Black people on a civil rights struggle? What have they done for Black people, on a, racial standpoint? I know they preach the teachings in the quote unquote religion, but what do you think that, what would you say to people that say that, the minister, doesn't get on the streets at the protest and doesn't really talk on, the Black history?
I have to say, as far as civil rights, absolutely not. You will not see like mom, civil rights protests and nothing like that, because we don't want to integrate with America. We don't want any of that, and we didn't want that then. We don't want that now. Why would you integrate? It's like Moses in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? As far as we don't want to integrate with Pharaoh, we want to separate from Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Why would you integrate with somebody, even though we've already done it? But why would you want to continue to further integrate yourself with someone who is literally killing you physically, mentally, psychologically, through what's that? With the vaccines and all these other types of ways they're killing us. Why would you want to integrate with a person like that? You want to integrate a bus or whatever like that? Get your brother. Don't integrate the bus. Get your own bus. You say you want to down on a integrated toilet and smell integrated fumes. But so the work that he has done is, as our program is, do for self. He built so many businesses, barbershops, grocery stores, factories, the distribution of the fish and everything like that, and the banks and everything. So he's done a lot for Black people. I get this a lot. Concerns people that come to me and say, oh, he ain't did nothing or whatever. So I'm like, tell me what he hasn't done. You know what I'm saying? What has he done from your research? So most people who say that don't do research, and the minister the same way. You know what I'm saying? He had to rebuild it. So he's starting, from the bottom, but he had the blueprint of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to rebuild the works of him. And the Million Man March was so successful. And matter of fact, I was getting my haircut, and I'm talking to my barber and everything. I take my final call every week. And he was saying he had opened his barber shop after he heard the Million Man March. He said that would inspire him to go get it, start cutting hair and open a barber shop. So he's done a lot. Whether the people are Muslims or not, the minister had done a lot for Black people, and starting a lot of things. It's a lot of things I couldn't name it right now, but it's a lot of things that started as a result of just the Million Man March alone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I only got a couple more questions. I don't want to keep you.
Yes, sir.
What would you say to people that say, man, y'all niggas all talk. All y'all do is sit in the mosque on Sunday, have your little mosque meetings, but y'all niggas all talk. Y'all ain't really trying to free Black people. Y'all ain't really trying to, y'all ain't really about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be with the Black Panthers. I'm trying to do something. What would you say to that?
Well, this ain't no, as minister said, this ain't no sit down religion. You know what I'm saying? We moving, we're working for the people, and being out with the paper or selling bean pies or fruit or anything like that doesn't make you less of a so-called fighter for your people. You know what I'm saying? Because we need that paper. You understand? The knowledge that put in the paper every week is very important. And as far as being out in the community, I can speak for the brothers. As far as here in Detroit, brothers here in Detroit during the pandemic, I wasn't registered, but I've seen them working and everything. They was out in the community when nobody else was out in the community. I'm talking about taking food to the homeless and all these other things. They was, feeding the elderly and all these other things. So they was out in the community, you know what I'm saying? When nobody else was out, literally nobody else was out. But the FOI was out in the streets helping the people, giving out masks and all that. So we work for the people. They just got to check, come check us out. Come talk to us, brother. Come to the nearest Muhammad's Mosque near you, brother.
Yes, sir. Okay, so the last question I just want to ask you, what would you say to young, because you're 18 years old, what would you say to young men out there who are just lost or even thinking about registering? What's your personal message to them?
Okay, brothers were thinking about registering. I have to say, brothers, study, brother. Because, man, I say I'm blessed to had studied for about, before I got registered, for about 4 years before I got registered. So I was studying all up into then. And had I not studied as much as I did and as long as I did, I don't think I would have been able to join, because I wasn't able to come to the mosque physically. So I'm just by myself, independently studying and everything like that, answering a lot of questions I had to go find the answer for myself. So I think that's what helped me study even more right now as registered FOI. But yeah, brothers, I say study thoroughly. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask anybody, any registered believer, or brothers you see on social media. Don't be scared to DM brothers if you have a very legitimate question that you really need an answer for, brother. So study, ask questions. I have to say that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I just want to thank again, Brother Lavell X. I'm humbled and honored to have spoken to you, and I submit to that God within you, brother. And anytime you'd love to come back, I'll be honored to have you again. Any work you want to do together, I'd be honored to be there. And I just want to say, brother, salam alaikum, and may Allah continue to bless and protect you and your family.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.